Welcome to the Joy of Cruising podcast with your host, award-winning author Paul C. Thornton, a weekly conversation with the amazing cruisers featured in the Joy of Cruising books, comprised of The Joy of Cruising, Cruising Interrupted, new release, The Joy of Cruising Again, as well as other fun, informative global cruise personalities. It's the next best thing to cruising, hearing about cruising from the unique and diverse perspectives of Paul's amazing guests. If you hear about a cruise that interests you, book it at www.thejoyofacation.com or enter to win a free cruise for two. Again, www.thejoyofacation.com. We really appreciate your feedback, so leave us a text. Paul can't reply, but he may read your text on the air.
Hello, passionate cruisers. This is Paul. This week on the Joy Cruising Podcast, I'm delighted to welcome Jessica Jane Peterson, embodiment of Jessica Jane magic, a dazzling magician, daredevil, and an experienced sleight-of-hand artist with more than 10,000 shows under her belt, many while performing on the ocean. Jessica has performed on cruise ships sailing to over 42 countries and has also entertained on tours for the men and women serving in the armed forces overseas. Jessica Jane is a magician, powerhouse performer, and exceptional entertainer. She is no stranger to the stage. Just back from starring in the national tour Penn Teller Present, The Foolers, known for her versatility across all areas of magic, she will surprise with her sleight of hand, shock with her daring illusions, and delight with her spirited onstage persona. Having performed for major corporations worldwide at private events for the Hollywood elite and headlined on top cruise lines around the globe, Jessica brings years of experience and accolades to every performance. She has been seen on Penn Teller, Netflix, Prince of Peoria. Penn Teller tried this at home, and she was recently in the film The Queen of Magic. It's magic, it's stories, it's danger. It's a show jam-packed with magic mastery. Jessica Jane performs more daring illusions and mind-boggling sleight of hand, all linked with incredible stories from her own life and career. A complete magic showcase. A perfect headline actor, audiences young and old. This fusion of classic and modern magical moments truly has something for everyone, and all delivered by one of the most charming stage personalities working internationally today. Fun fact, Jessica also works as a Houdini and magic historian. Welcome, Jessica Jane, to the Joy of Cruising podcast.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be on with you, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. More importantly is how you're doing. I feel great to be able to get, someone of your stature on my show.
Oh,
I've had, I think 3 magicians, and you're my second Disney magician.
yes. Who else did you have?
He's written a book. What's his name?
Now you got me curious because we have John Armstrong, David Williams.
That's who it is. John Armstrong.
John Armstrong. Okay. He's a good friend of mine.
I knew it would come to me, but you beat me to it. So.
It's a small world, man. Magic is a small world.
So, but how are you doing?
I am good. You caught me one of the few times I'm on land because I usually go out for 7 days, maybe come back 2 or 3 and then go out for another one. But I just moved from Los Angeles to Las Vegas 2 days ago. So I am in my new place.
Well, let me ask you, I'm glad you brought up Vegas. Do you ever perform? I know you have in the past, but do you have any upcoming performances in Vegas?
I'm gonna have some stuff coming up. I'm working on some shows with my friend Matt Donnelly. He and I were in a show called Penn Teller Presents, The Foolers, and we're putting some stuff together. And then I'm sure there will be Penn and Teller projects coming up.
So we're going out to Vegas in, I guess, less than a month. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I've been to Vegas, a number of times, but I'm real intrigued about the Sphere. I've
not been yet. I'm fascinated by it, and the whole Wizard of Oz thing they're doing seems really cool.
Yeah, both fascinated by the outside, but then inside, I hear it's the best place in the world to view a concert.
Yeah, my friend Nick Lang is one of the heads of tech for the Sphere. And he
Uh-huh.
was saying that the graphics for the Sphere every time they do a show are millions and millions of dollars. It's insane.
Well, unfortunately, when we go, there's not going to be any concert playing, but they're doing something special with the Wizard of Oz.
Yes, it's supposed to be amazing. I'm hearing really cool things, and I know a lot of live performers that have been booked for it too. So
Yep. So, yep, that's what we got on the board, and then we're also going to see one of the. Every time I go, not every time I go, but I try to catch a different Cirque du Soleil show. So we're gonna see O,
yes, I love that show. Oh, I love that show.
and then what's the other thing we go? Oh, Blue Man Group.
Blue Man Group. I love Blue Man Group too,
Yeah,
man.
I've always wanted to check them out. I'm finally going to
Such
get
a
it.
good show.
Yep.
Such a good show.
hmm So anyway, it's good. I'm talking about me. Let's talk about you. It's good to virtually meet you. Before we hear what it's like to perform on the ocean, tell our listeners about yourself in general, where you're from, well, you just told us where you live, your background before becoming a top musician, anything you would like to share.
All right. I'm warning you, it's going to all sound real weird and it's going to sound like it can't be true, but I swear to you it is.
Well, we like to hear those kinds of stories.
Okay, good. So I grew up in New Jersey and my mom was a magician's assistant and my dad designed magic. And I have a adopted uncle. He's not really family, but we called him Uncle Al, and he was a illusionist. And my mom worked in his show. And it's funny, I saw David Copperfield 2 days ago and he goes, I know your Uncle Al. He inspired me. He's like, he actually influenced what I do. So
Wow.
cool. Yeah, but I grew up doing that. And then at 14, I started going to something called Lance Burton's Teen Seminar out in Las Vegas every year. And magicians like Lance Burton and Jeff McBride and a guy named Eugene Berger would come together and train teens in the art of show business. And it's the reminder that business is the bigger of the two words. So learn about performing, but we'd also learn about different venues like cruise ships or theaters and music rights and insurance and all that stuff. And I trained in that for a while. I ended up getting a break starting in an amusement park show called Shazam when I was 16. I was doing like 15 shows a week, June
Wow.
before going back into school. And then the day I graduated high school, I ran away with the World of Wonders Circus sideshow and toured with the last 10 and one sideshow still in the world today. So fire eating, glass walking, electric chair, all the crazy stuff. And I did that for like a year. And that's the danger stuff that came in.
I'm guessing your parents were very supportive of what you did
My parents,
because it was kind of mad. It was performing.
see, my dad's always been really supportive. My mom is supportive in some ways, and I'll just be really blunt about this. They got divorced when I was like 14. Funny enough, they were married and divorced to each other 3 separate times, all on April Fools. I was like, the joke's on you guys.
No, that I've never heard.
Yeah, true story, man. But my dad ended up working his tail off, and my mom was in Jersey, and my mom had never seen me perform live except for a high school musical of Into the Woods when I was 14. She finally saw me perform live for the first time last year when we did Penn and Teller Present the Foolers. And that was the first time she's ever seen my show, but neither of my parents have ever seen my full show on a cruise ship. Ever. So I love them, but they're supportive, but they've never seen my show.
Are they cruisers?
No, well, they're not cruisers. My mom's been on one cruise. My dad is finally coming on a cruise end of October. I'm bringing him on the Disney Treasure. So he's finally going to see what I do on an awesome ship.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
But yeah, the sideshow stuff is where all the danger came in. And then I decided that it would be interesting to blend danger and then classic magic because it was a little bit different. So some things are real and some things are classic magic that could be from the 1890s, you know? But yeah, that's it. All took storm, and I moved to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I opened my own matinee show there called Jessica Jane's Magic Comedy Variety Show in a little vaudeville theater, and that built the cruise ship show that I do now, because it was a 90-minute show, and since we have two 45-minute shows on the ship, that show was my training. My friend Lance calls it Hamburg, like that the Beatles found their sound in Hamburg. My Hamburg was Gatlinburg, Tennessee. That's where I found my shows.
Now talk about the segue from, so you left home to get into sort of the thrill that you call, to use your word, the danger stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about the segue from the danger stuff to Jessica Jane Magic. Did you go to training? How did you make that transition?
Honestly, I've always done the magic. I think my first magic show I performed when I was 9 years old, and I got for it. So I've done magic my whole life, and because my family had a traveling illusion show, I'm one of the weird magicians where a lot of times people start with close-up magic and they work their way up to big stage illusions. I was surrounded by huge stage illusions on the road. We would load in, load out of theaters, casinos. I can take them apart, put them back together, perform them, get in them, get out of them. So the magic really came first. And I thought that when you watch people eat fire and walk on broken glass and stuff, that it was magic trick. It wasn't until I joined the sideshow I realized it was real. That's what fascinated me, and that's when I blended the two together, which is kind of where I'm at now.
Okay. So I interrupted. You were talking about you came to Gatlinburg.
Yeah, Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
What drew you there, by the way?
I went with a friend, my friend Alan, Thanksgiving 2010. We went to see a magic show called Terry Evanswood Presents the Wonders of Magic at the big upside down building Wonderworks. And about 10 minutes before the show started, it was his first Christmas show ever in this theater. And the pre-show music that plays when you're sitting in the theater stopped. I was like, ooh, something's wrong. Like that, they don't stop the pre-show music unless something's wrong. And he came out from backstage and he's like, do you know how to do this, the water levitation, the twister illusion, the buzz saw, the blades of death? I was like, yeah, I know all these from my family show. And he's like, okay, kid, what size are you? I was like, a 2. He goes, get backstage, you're in the show. So 10 minutes later, was on stage with red lipstick and my first wig as a showgirl in Terry Evanswood Presents the Wonders of Magic. And I stayed with him for over 4,000 shows.
So okay, so you knew him when you came there. You came there.
I didn't. He knew.
How did he pick you?
So I knew of him because we're such a small magic community. He was on the front of a magic magazine. He knew me, but we'd never met before.
Wow.
And I talk about trust, man. I was floating 20 feet in the air on water, and like with this guy I just met like an hour before.
We'll be right back.
Do you have a dream car? Mine is the Lucid Air. Are you intrigued by electric vehicles? The Lucid Air EV has been called the best driving car in the world. And the Lucid Air Sapphire is certifiably the fastest production car in the world. Listen to Lucid Driver Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts or at luciddriver.buzzsprout.com. So his regular co-performer had to pull out. There was an emergency or something?
She had a hard time with the track. It was really stressful because they were trying to get this Christmas show up and running at the last minute. And she's this sweet girl from Russia named Natasha. She learned English by watching Friends. So she has this Russian American accent, and from backstage she took off her wig, threw it on the ground. She goes, "This is so depressful. I get no respection. I'm going to Disney World," and she left.
Wow.
True story.
And so I mean, you weren't able to rehearse or anything. He just kind of
Nothing.
led you along.
Yeah, he whispered in my ear. I remember the first illusion. It was one where he spun me in. I got in this illusion. He put metal tubes in it, and he was telling me from the outside what to do. And fire. There's a fire that comes through one of the tubes, and I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, oh yeah, there's fire. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness gracious. But we got through it. We got through that show. It was only because I'd grown up on my family's magic show that I knew all the tricks, but it was nuts.
You knocked it, to use a sports analogy. You knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And you say that was the start of what, 4,000 shows?
4,000 shows with Terry Evanswood. We do 3 to 4 shows a day, 7 days a week, because it's a tourist town. So we were working our tails off.
I've shared your highlights reel to the Joy Cruising podcast crew. It was thrilling. And if I had a cruise coming up with you as a headliner, I would be excited. So for the listeners who didn't see that, what kind of fun can they look forward to from watching your show?
I try to do a production style magic show on ships, even though it's just me. I utilize the whole stage, lighting, sound, video, everything. And then I bring in my favorite magic, from mind reading to sleight of hand. There's a beautiful routine that I do on the big screens that I love performing, because it's that close up magic where you go, how in the world? But also lots of mind reading, lots of storytelling, heartfelt magic. And I also do a death-defying upside down straitjacket escape, which I love doing. It's so much fun.
I know that you are mainly on Disney now. Talk about your first time performing on a cruise ship. Was that on Disney, or where was that?
That was 2012, Savona, Italy, on the Costa Classica.
Okay, Costa.
Oh man, I had gotten cast in a show called Illusions by a magician named Connie Boyd, who is a well-known female magician. And there weren't many when I was a kid to look up to, and Connie was one of them. And it was a show with me as the illusionist and magicians and 14 Las Vegas dancers. So it was a big show, and I had a very short amount of time to learn it. And it was something, because I was in my early 20s. I'd never done a cruise ship before. I knew illusions. I'm not a dancer, so I had to learn heavy dance for that show.
JJ, let me interrupt. Had you been on a cruise before?
Never. That was my first ever, and it was a crew contract, man. Crew contract.
So help me understand. What is that? That's different than, I guess, the cruise. You're part of the crew, whereas you get an entertainment contract today, right? What you do today. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So when I first started, crew contracts are usually really long too. I signed 2 9-month contracts for that ship, which was a lot. A whole lot. And that means that you're in a crew cabin, which usually does not have a window or anything. It's in the belly of the ship. And then you eat in the crew dining areas. And at that time, I was so young and I didn't know anything about negotiating contracts. And I had to do like library duty and like all that stuff. Oh my God, I did everything. But now, for the last probably 10 years, I work as a guest entertainer. So we're on the supernumerary list, which means that we have passenger privileges, and we live in a passenger cabin, usually with like a porthole or a balcony, but we're still working on the ship. So basically we're independent contractors. They call us third-party contractors.
Right. So let's go back to that first cruise. Were you anxious at all about just being on a cruise ship?
Well, I'd also never been overseas before. So it went from being in the States in Gatlinburg to boarding the ship. I was the only American on board. There were no other Americans. A lot of the cruisers were German and French and were not fans of Americans. And I had to get a name tag made that had Canada on it.
Get out.
Because people like me. True. It's true. The difference, I worked one week and we had a French audience and they said, from the United States of America, Jessica Jane. And people went, ooh. Week later, from Canada, Jessica Jane. Yeah. It was nuts. It was nuts. But I was terrified. I'd never been on.
Now I've interviewed comedians who have performed overseas. I know that comedy on Costa doesn't translate that well because of language barriers.
Yes.
Magician performances don't have a similar challenge.
Well, that's why I had to learn heavy dance. This was a 45-minute show with only speaking in one volunteer trick in the introduction. I would do the introduction in whatever 6 languages were we had the highest percentage of on the ship. So if I was speaking, everything was said in those 6 languages. But it was to music. So it was a 45-minute show with big illusions to music with heavy, heavy dance because it doesn't always translate. So we let the magic, the movement, and the storytelling speak for itself instead of actual dialogue.
But that first Casa contract, that was a good experience. It turned out to be a good experience.
It was boot camp.
Okay.
The Costa contract was boot camp for entertaining. I had no idea what an entertainer should make on a ship. So I was also making a very, very low amount of money because I had no idea. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. It taught me everything I needed to know. I would have never known what that world was like working on ships, even things like I never knew that with the illusions, which have a lot of like screws in them and nuts and bolts, when you're going in and out of port and you get that vibrating feeling, that loosens the nuts and the bolts.
Oh, really?
Doing a show and legs fell off an illusion that I was in. And I really, from there on out, every show you have to tighten all the nuts and bolts and the props. Like stuff like that. I would have never known that otherwise.
Well, let me ask you this. I've also interviewed a number of singers from cruise ships, and particularly women. Now, some of the guys kind of crack jokes about this, but some women have learned the hard way about wearing heels while they're singing.
Yes.
Likewise, is magic influenced a lot by the moving ship?
It can be, and in that show it was the ship movement, especially with close-up magic and stuff, like because I use real wine glasses for some of my close-up. I now have to put Velcro on the bottom of them.
Oh, okay.
So when the table, they stay. Locking wheels, illusion builders for magicians don't, for some reason, put locking wheels on props. It's like an extra thing. But so like I had this one prop. I'll put a picture of it in the stuff I'm going to send you.
Okay.
There was this one. It was a jukebox, and I would put the guy in the jukebox, and then I would put tubes through it where there's no way he's in there, and then I'd zag it in half, and then his hand would pop out. So you're like, how the heck is he in there? Well, then I spin it, and it's on 4 wheels, and I go to spin it, and the ship starts to move. The weight of him in that prop and me, I just started going this way, and then when it back the other way, it pulled me to the other side. So I learned real quick that I need locking wheels on props.
You did that, you say 2 9-month contracts.
Yeah, 2 9-month contracts from 2012 on.
And then what was next?
Then I got back and I opened my matinee show in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I decided that was the run I wanted to do. And I continued that up until 2016. And then unfortunately, we had a very bad wildfire that came through, and I was in a rough spot. I had left my show that night to go rescue I had white doves that were pets they're my sweethearts. I went to get them, and I also work as a historian. I've got things that belong to Houdini, all sorts of stuff. And I rushed because my street was on fire to get those things out of the house, and got stuck. There's that road between Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge called the Spur, and I was trapped in fire on that road. Can't believe they cleared a tree. Had to drive into Gatlinburg completely on fire, and the whole town, like the strip where tourists go was mostly fine, but where we lived was gone. I mean, like doctors' offices, our safety deposit boxes at our bank, everything was completely gone.
Wow.
So I had been a fire eater for years, since I was like 16. And it was a heavy part. It was in a routine of my show. And I got too scared. I decided I was terrified of it, and I didn't want to do it anymore. Uh, after the fire, I went on a trip to Las Vegas, and I saw Penn Teller. And I was sitting in the audience, and my friend said, what better place to conquer your new fear of fire than on national television? And I went, what? They're like, Penn and Teller fool us. And so I wrote a routine. And then in January of 2017, I was flown out to Las Vegas. I taped a routine that, funny enough, I was supposed to use Wayne Newton as a volunteer, but I found out he had a double knee replacement and he was blind as a bat. So we ended up using somebody else. I was like, give me the host. I love Wayne, but oh my Lord. But that broadcast in August of 2017. And an agent by the name of Jan Stenning from TAD Management saw me, and she goes, you need to be on ships. And I told her I did 2 9-month contracts and what I made. And she goes, no, honey, you're on the passenger list, this, that. You're going to do these 2 45-minute shows, no 3-day cruises with constant shows. She's like, you're going to be completely different. And she booked me on a Holland America ship. I was on what was it? The Zuiderdam was my first ship. And from that, I did my first show. The next day, they booked me all of Alaska season on Amsterdam. So that was the beginning of the cruises.
Now, I noticed that a lot of the stand-up comedian, I love stand-up comedy.
Well, me too.
So on ships, particularly Carnival, but some other ships too, a lot of the stand-up comedians will do a show geared for family.
Yes.
And then they do a show geared for adults.
Yes.
Is that the case with with the magicians also?
Yeah, when I worked on other lines like Norwegian, Holland, Celebrity, I would basically do a show in the theater that was a 45-minute big production show. And then I would work in one of their smaller venues like the club or a different lounge and do a more intimate close-up show. So that's how they were sorted then. When I moved to Disney, that's when everything changed. Disney said, we need a 45-minute family show from you that's for adults and kids. And then we need a 45-minute 18+ adult show. Everybody thinks Disney's just for families. Oh my gosh, there is so much for adults on their ships. The 18+ shows are insane. Haunted Mansion Bar, all that stuff. But the 18+ show I do on Disney right now is a lot of danger stuff. There's some hardcore stunts in it. Like, I never expected Disney to be the place where I get my adult show going.
Is it more like, is it R-rated? Is it more sexy stuff? Is it R-rated, or it's just more dangerous?
It's still all the same stuff. It's just more dangerous. The main stunt that I do in the family show is the upside down straitjacket escape. Whereas in the adult show on Disney, I do Russian roulette with a nail. I'm eating razor blades. I do a thing with a fish hook, like some crazy, crazy stuff. But it's really
wow. So talk about when you first started. I mean, you did Holland and some other lines, but it seems like you're kind of a regular now on Disney.
Yeah, definitely.
So when did that start?
So I started with them January of this last year. I was terrified because Disney, all the guest entertainers know, Disney is the hard one. Like you do all the other lines and you work your way up to, can I do Disney? Because it really is the hard one to break into. So I was so scared. And the day I boarded their ship, I was the first person to ever join the Disney Treasure in the middle of a cruise because it had just started coming over and cruising the Caribbean. So I got to the ship at 3:30 from my flight, right? And they didn't have my name on the list. And the way Disney works is you can't see the schedule of the entertainment until you hook up to their Wi-Fi, right? So I'm standing outside the ship. I open it up. Never performed for Disney before. Tonight at 6:15 and 8:30, Jessica Jane. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen the ship. It's 3:30. I'm standing outside the ship at 3:30, no way on. They got me on at 4:30. We somehow, their techs are amazing. I don't know how we got that show done. We worked backwards from the upside down stuff. Like we started with the dangerous stuff, but we set the last light as the doors opened. I didn't even go to the
Wow.
cabin. My suitcases were behind the curtain and I was trying to do like hair and makeup and stuff. And I was terrified I was going to get fired. I was like, there's no way that this show is going to get me booked. And then the next day, the cruise director was like, we love you. You are built for Disney. They're like, you are Disney and we're booking you for all this stuff. So they have me booked till like 2026 right now, late 2026. But I love them.
Are you doing exclusively Disney?
I'm not. I'm also opening the well, not opening, but maybe the third cruise opening the Star Princess coming up is December, I think.
Ooh,
So
tell me more. Oh no, wait a minute. I'm on Star Princess in November.
wait, when in November? Let me check my dates.
Yeah, let me look at my calendar here.
We're looking. Oh my gosh, it'd be so cool if that lined up. Let's see. I texted my dad cruise dates, so I know they're on here. Da, 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 da. I am on Star. Oh man, it's December 13th to the 20th.
Oh, yep, I'll miss you. I get on November 9th.
Oh, I think I know.
No, November 10th I get on.
Okay. It sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. So I'm doing that, and then I just booked my first Virgin ship,
Okay, which one?
the Brilliant Lady,
Okay, when?
and I'm doing that in 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm on Brilliant Lady in March.
oh nice. So I will be around. I can't say what it is yet, but myself as well as some magicians I've worked with on a certain tour for certain Las Vegas magicians in the name, a silent guy and a tall guy, are working on a show exclusively for Virgin Cruise Line to possibly start May of next year. It's on the down low, but I can't say anything yet, but I will be doing some Virgin cruises for sure.
Well, my lips are sealed. I will, my cruise on Brilliant Ladies in March, but I love Virgin, so
I'm so excited to try it.
I'll be back on.
Well, my thing was I love doing Disney, but also living in Las Vegas, I didn't want people that don't know about my adult show on Disney to just assume I only do a family show. So I figured balancing between Virgin and Disney was a good way of showing that I can do the whole gambit, you know?
I saw my first hypnotist on Virgin.
Oh, cool.
I wasn't really a believer too much in hypnotism.
Oh, yeah.
But she knocked me out of my seat. And I had her on the show, on the podcast, and she was great.
Was it Nadine by chance?
Yes.
Yes, she's awesome.
Yes,
I love Nadine.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, she's good, man.
Yes.
She can put a lot like that. It's insane.
She really is. So talk about the kids on Disney. I mean, I know that when you do your family show, that has to be special with all the kids in the audience.
Oh man, this is the first time that I've had trouble with spontaneously crying around the show. Oh my God, the kids. I remember as a kid going to Disney World with my autograph book and having like Mickey and Minnie and all the characters sign it. And after my shows on Disney, the kids will come up to me around the ship and ask me to sign their Disney autograph book. Cry. I guarantee you there is not one autograph book without a teardrop in it because I was gone. But I will just sit on the floor and do magic with kiddos. I bring stuff that belong to Houdini on board. I've helped kids with their book reports on board that wanted to do a book report about Houdini that are sitting there holding his props. Like, this will be cool. But I love it. Even the teens. I was not popular in high school. I got bullied immensely. So I'm always terrified when I see a group of teens hanging out at 1 o'clock on a cruise ship. And my second cruise on Disney Treasure, I was up top getting a drink from their fountains that are available like 24/7. And the teenagers looked at me and they're like, "Hey, you that magic lady?" Yes, like, don't hit me. But they were like, "Oh, you want to sit with us for a while?" I was like, "Yes, I would." You.
Well, you could have put on a different persona. I mean, after all, you eat razor blades and fire and.
Oh, but I'm so weird. My whole thing is no matter what you see when I'm on stage, off stage, I'm the same person. Like I am the exact same human. I decided early on when I was doing magic that everybody did characters and stuff. And for me, my magic is different because I try to be as vulnerable and approachable and honest on stage as possible. And I watched a masterclass that Steve Martin did years ago in comedy. And he said, when you're looking into your art form and deciding what you want to do, look for what your art form is missing. And when he first started doing stand-up, it was around Vietnam War times. And he said, what was missing was silliness. Everybody had long hair, but nobody was silly. So he cut his hair, put on a tie, and acted silly. And it was a hit. So I looked around magic, and there's all these people with this dark, mysterious thing. And, they're saying they're going to read your mind and this and that. And I was like, no, I just want to be the person that I am in front of my grandmom and grandpa. That's the most honest version of myself. So that's who I choose to be all the time, even on stage. And it's just made it so much more fun on ships because I get off stage and everybody's my friend already. It's awesome.
That's great. That's great. What are some highlights of cruising that you've had? I mean, besides performing, you get to go to some beautiful port stops.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard all about the food on Disney. I've been on Disney once.
Okay.
But not enough to know, when some of my guests or people I know talk about like Palo and the other
Palo's so good.
really really nice places on Disney, I can't really relate. So talk about the benefits of cruising. What some of your favorite memories?
I mean, the travel, 100%. Being in places for repositioning cruises like Moorea in French Polynesia, or my first time seeing Hawaii was on a cruise ship and getting to hop around. I like to think of cruising as like, when you get free samples in a magazine of like a cologne or perfume. For me, cruising is the sample version of travel to see the world. So you'll go to multiple countries in a week, and then you can decide, okay, I want to go back to Norway and see this thing, or I want to go to Cork, Ireland, and spend time there. And that's what I do. I'll find places that I love, and I'll go back and stay for a week with friends that I made there. So really, the friendships and the travel have been second to none. But the food, man. I mean, I've had some good food on ships, but Disney food is insane. Like just Marceline's, which is their it's like their buffet. They're only open for breakfast and lunch. They do not have a buffet because they have so many dining rooms that they put you in. But their buffet, you go straight to the back. There are crab legs, lobster claws, shrimp. I was like, yes, please, Disney. Ooh, it's so good. The Mickey churro waffles are amazing. And my favorite thing on the Disney ships, and they do not tell you that you can do this. This is like a Disney insider secret. At least I learned it from a child 2 weeks ago, and now it's changed my world. When you call room service, if you ask for a Mickey bar, they'll give them to you for free.
Get out.
Uh-huh. I had no idea. Mickey bars from room service, 24 hours free.
Well, you just made a lot of listeners happy.
Oh man, the kid told me. I had a kid on stage and I was like, "What's your favorite part of the cruise?" And they went, "The Mickey bars." And they're like, "We're buying them from this da 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 da." And one of the parents went, "You can get them for free in room service." And we just sort of looked out to the audience like, "Really? Tell us more."
So where else do you perform besides these days, besides the cruise ships? And occasionally, you say you occasionally perform in Vegas. So do you do much television?
I do some television stuff, yeah. I also do consulting for movies and TV shows. Like, say they're gonna have a actor or actress do magic in it. Sometimes I'll get hired to come in and teach them how to do the magic. Like I just helped with it was a short film called The Queen of Magic. They just put it up on YouTube because it won some awards, and I do a walk-on role as a fire eater and stuff. And
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out.
yeah, it's really neat. I'll send you the link to it. But it's for, of course, the Penn and Teller stuff I do. But yeah, I've got some more TV stuff coming up, and I filmed some pilots for projects where I hope they get picked up, but you know how it is. It's like 1 out of every 20 things you film for 2 years and then we see what happens. But there's a couple projects that I hope get picked up.
Now, of your live performances, are there any audiences that are tougher than others?
Australia.
Get out.
Oh my God. That's the hardest audiences for me was Australia.
I've had actually a number of performers from Australia on the show.
Really?
Yeah. I just had maybe 4 weeks ago. I had a violinist. You know, of course, all of these performers are performers on cruise ships.
Yeah.
But this particular one, she's from Australia. Mhm.
Nice.
But their audiences are tough, huh?
And there's a specific reason, and I talked with Penn about this because he even had the same experience. Australians tend to think that magic is for kids and that it's kiddie magic and it's cheesy, and they don't think of like upside down straitjacket escapes and insane mind reading for adults. They think it's going to be a kid's birthday party show. So they come in the theater and now they're confused because they're like, whoa, this is for adults, you know? And I learned real quickly. I think I did a 9-month contract on Celebrity Edge in Australia. That ended, I think, May 2024. I learned real quick, I need to come out and immediately be dangerous. So I would walk out, true story on the ship, I would ask an Australian to chug their beer and bring me the bottle on stage. And now, like, I'm challenging them. So they're like, okay, little Miss 5 foot magic girl, what you got? So I'd have them bring their bottles on stage. I'd lay out a sheet, take a hammer, break all the bottles, and then I would walk on it barefoot. And now all of a sudden, all the Aussies are like, oh, she. And then I'd break a bottle, put it in a block of wood and put a bag over it. And I would play Russian roulette while standing on broken glass with my bare foot. And that's how I won the Australian Open. But it took time to get there, man.
You know, when I asked you, are there any audiences tougher than others? I thought you might say Las Vegas.
You know what? I gotta be honest with, as far as audiences, when an audience member buys a ticket to something and they know what they're going to see, they're almost always a good audience. Cruises can be hard for magicians because I'd say maybe 65 to 70% of people like magic. The other 30, and most of them have never seen a magic show before. Most people going into a magic show on a cruise ship, and I tell magicians this, a lot of them have never seen a magic show before. So it's your responsibility as a magician to make sure that it's a dang good show. Because the other 30% of the people on board that don't like magic saw a bad magic show. And now you need to win them over and convince them that magic is cool.
Yep, yep. So sort of like me when I went to see my first hypnotism show.
Okay. So you had that sort of experience, and then Nadine pulled you over to like
Oh,
cool.
definitely, definitely.
Oh yeah, like Las Vegas, if they're buying a ticket to a show, they've invested their time and their money to see you. When you buy a ticket to go see O, you know you worked your butt off, you paid top dollar for the ticket, and then you really enjoy the show because you've invested in it. On a cruise ship, we're just there. They don't know who's on that night. They don't really care who's on that night. Most people on a lot of the ships are there, and we're at the part of the night where they've had a lot of drinks. So they're not choosing to see us. We're just there. I will say it's different on Disney because on Disney, since there's no casino, I find that everyone's in a good mood when they come into the theater.
Yeah, they haven't lost the next month's mortgage payment.
I swear to you, it makes a difference. People on Disney are so happy, and I was like, yeah, there's no casino.
But now I heard maybe a couple of years ago, a guy on a cruise ship rushed the stage towards a magician.
I saw this video. Yeah. Yep.
Has anything like that ever happened to you? And why would someone rush the stage for a magician?
Well, the guy was doing a routine with the guy's wife, and it was this trick. I remember it was something where like they act like they're going to kiss and they have two playing cards that are going to change places.
Oh,
I
okay.
think the husband thought that he was getting a little too close and he walked on and decked him. That's what happened.
Oh, he hit him.
Yeah, he hit him. I think there's video of it. Yeah, it was crazy. And what's crazy though is the magician that it happened to posted the video. I forget what his name was, but I know he posted it. But I've had the only time I really had something bad happen, but thank God it turned out being funny. Holland America. No, it was Norwegian Sky. I was on the Norwegian Sky for Super Bowl Sunday, which is, any guest entertainer will tell you, the hardest show to do on a cruise ship is the day of the Super Bowl. Because you're after the game, and half the people are thrilled, and half the people are livid. And you're not doing anything to win them over. So the Super Bowl ends. I'm there. They're like, and the magic of Jessica Jane. And now half the audience already hates me because their team lost, and I'm just in deep trouble. So I found this guy. He was this big guy. He had to be like 7 feet in the front row. And I pulled him on stage for a routine. I would not normally have picked this guy because that's a thing that magicians and hypnotists do, is we study the psychology of choosing volunteers. So we look for certain things before we pull people on stage. Ordinarily, this guy would have been I would not have gotten him. But he was smiling and his team won, so I figured I'll bring him on stage. I immediately smelled the tequila all over his body as he entered. And I did a routine where I have them write down a country, and then I sing all the countries that they didn't name, and it's the Nations of the World song from a show called The Animaniacs. And so it's really fast paced and like it's a crazy memorization thing. The guy decided, because I have him dance with me, he put his hands under my armpits and decides to spin me. But like, you know when the people do the thing like this where they spin really fast?
Yeah.
He was doing that with me, but he was drunk and let go.
Oh.
And I landed on the floor on the front of the stage and did not miss a beat. I was like, United Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominica, Cuba, Caribbean. Didn't miss a beat. But the bruises on my body, oh my God, I was a mess, man. That's the worst that happened. But he didn't mean to. He was just having a little bit too much fun.
You know, it's funny. I was on a cruise. I'm thinking about what you were saying about cruising, watching the Super Bowl, because I was on a cruise. It was a theme cruise, a music cruise.
Okay.
And so Super Bowl, was the time that it was. And then after, out on the Lido deck, there were performances. But that's a good point, half the order. I guess I didn't think about it because my team won.
I'll tell you though, Super Bowl is bad, but you know it's even worse? World Cup when you're in the UK. UK or South America World Cup. Oh my God, they are passionate.
That's an interesting perspective. Let's talk about the future, particularly for the audience. I guess maybe I can ask it this way. If I go to your website, does it list your ships coming up?
It will. Right now, I'm getting my website revamped, but if you go on my Instagram at Jessica Jane Magic or on my Facebook at Jessica Jane Magic, that'll have all the announcements of all the ships, and then the website will soon.
Okay. So for the listeners, can you just name a few ships you have coming up?
So I rejoin the Treasure, and when I join the Treasure, I actually join in the middle of a cruise and leave in the middle of the cruise. So that way they can get me for 1 week, which means I do 8 shows in 7 days on Disney, which is a lot. But I rejoined the Disney Treasure on September 3rd to September 10th, and then the Treasure the 17th to the 24th, October 1st to the 8th, and October 15th to the 22nd. And then I am on the new Disney Destiny on November 28th to December 3rd. And I'm putting together all new stuff for the Disney Destiny. Star Princess, December 13th to the 20th. And then I'm doing all the holiday cruises for the Disney Destiny. And then next year, I go back and forth between Destiny and Treasure. And then I'll be spending the entire summer, 2 weeks on, 1 week off on the Magic in Alaska.
Okay. What are your upcoming land appearances?
That I can't announce yet, but we have something coming up that will be announced that's going to be a tour. So that'll be fun.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, actually, I do have one more. November 15th, if you're in the Arizona area, I'm working with 2 magician friends, and we're doing Alice Cooper's Christmas Pudding benefit concert at the Celebrity Theater in Arizona. And it raises money for teenagers in Arizona that learned that basically Alice Cooper and his wife, who are just incredible people. He's amazing, but his wife Cheryl's a choreographer. They're incredible people. They have centers in Arizona where kids can go and learn music for free. And these kids, like I found out yesterday, one of their early kids that couldn't afford lessons that they gave lessons to was Jordan Sparks. And she went on to win America's Got Talent. And she sings the theme song for the Disney Treasure. But she's one of Alice Cooper's kids. So that'll be a fun show if you're in the Arizona area. November 15th, Alice Cooper's Christmas Pudding. And I'm doing I might be doing an insane stunt in it. We're looking into the insurance this week.
JJ, I know how busy you are, so we're going to let you go. But before we let you go,
Yeah.
We always ask our guests some light or fun cruise questions.
Sweet.
And so a world famous magician is no different. So the first question, and this is a softball. How do you spend your me time?
My me time. I read a lot of books, and I have a magnetic shelf that I put in my cabin that I put a projector on, and I hang a bed sheet with magnets, and I project movies on it, and we'll have guest entertainer friends over, and we do movie nights.
That's
really
very
fun.
nice.
On Disney, though, I do all the activities. Like I will be out at 8 a.m. doing the drawing classes, watching the shows, watching the fireworks. I'm a cruiser on Disney.
Do you on cruises? Do you use the fitness facilities?
I use it occasionally. I like rowing because the rowing machine on cruise ships has a game setting where as you row, it's like a fishing game and it makes working out fun.
Okay. Question 2. What's your favorite cruise drink and favorite cruise food?
Okay, favorite cruise drink. I would say Aperol Spritz on a day off. An Aperol Spritz is nice. And favorite cruise food, Mickey bars.
That you now know you can get for free.
Yup, you can.
From room service.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Specific to cruising, What's your most wonderful or memorable or funniest or even most embarrassing cruise or port experience?
All right, I'm going to give you this. It's only because enough time has passed that I think it's funny. I want you to think Costa 2012 in a theater full of Germans who aren't excited that an American is doing their magic show. There was a trick I did with 3 guy dancers. You've probably seen it before. It's a box trick where I get put in like a bag and tied up. The bag gets put inside the box. A guy stands on top of the curtain, throws the curtain, and I appear on top and he's inside the box tied up, right? That's the way it's supposed to happen. That show, because it was a production show, I did not choose my costumes. And the costume for said show, which was not something I would normally wear, was this fishnet suit with this like bikini top and a very, very tiny bottom. And the way those bottoms work is there's a clip on the side of them, because for dancers on the ships, they have to change so quickly. That way it just clips onto the side and they can run back on stage. So I get in the box and because you're wearing the fishnet suit, you can't feel the other stuff on top of it. So I get in the box, I escape, I magically appear and I go, bam! And the Germans all go, hey!
Uh-oh.
Now they like me? Like, I'm like, did they say I'm from Canada or something? I look down and my bottoms are gone.
Oh my goodness.
I am standing on top of a box with lights hitting me. So I pull one leg across and just try to get down from it. And then when I opened up the box, my assistant Mandela was wearing my underwear on his head. And it's my favorite cruise memory.
Well, JJ, you know, there's an internet saying pictures or it didn't happen.
Oh my God. I'll tell you what, I will share a picture of what the show and outfit and routine was before all that stuff happened.
Okay.
And then you can imagine it just going bad.
I'll take what I can get. Last question. I call this an oddball question.
Okay.
Oddball only in that it doesn't necessarily relate to cruising at all.
Okay.
But first of all, let me welcome Jessica's friends and fans listening. I hope you have enjoyed what you have heard, and we'll come back and listen to more, or join our Facebook group or follow me on IG. Jessica, share one thing that my listeners and your friends don't know about Jessica.
Oh, well, actually, my family probably doesn't know about this, and I don't broadcast it. In 2012, I needed a daytime job when I was working my own show. So I got hired by Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies to be a mermaid. And I would swim in the shark tank from literally 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I would see people I knew go, is that? And I would swim away. It was awful. And because it replaced the feeding time for the fish that the divers used to do, the fish would bite me. So I saw places and have all of these little spots on my arms, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh, I went camping, you know." It wasn't like I'm broke and I'm diving as a mermaid getting bit by fish. There's one for you.
Jessica, thank you so much for coming on the Joy of Cruising podcast. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Paul.
And all the best to you. And as I like to say, I'll see you on the ocean.
Yes, I'll see you soon.
The Joy of Cruising and Cruising Interrupted, each $16.99 plus shipping, and new release, The Joy of Cruising Again, for $18.99, can be ordered at the link on thejoyofcruisingpodcast.com. For each of the 3 books, use the discount code Joy of Cruising Podcast and get $4 off. The Joy of Cruising books are also available at Amazon. Order the ebook at Amazon or your favorite online retailer. Stay in touch by joining the Joy of Cruising Podcast Facebook group or following the Joy of Cruising Podcast on Instagram. We're constantly adding new shows. Please leave a review and tell a friend about us. We hope you enjoyed this brief escape to the ocean. See you next week.